Bonjour, hello, namaste, guten tag, ciao. Welcome to Philosofind. And I must apologise for the background noise of my dishwasher. I've now unwittingly put myself in the same room as the dishwasher, so apologies for that. I hope it isn't going to ruin the entire thing for you. Noting at this point that Dan actually cooks steak in his dishwasher. Okay, so the objective of Philosofind was to create an elegant categorized quote generator with an accessible API. Okay, so this is the original project plan. You've got the nav bar at the top. You've then got the main quote generator with the drop-down menu, the quote generator button and Twitter share functionality. And then the next component below was a random quote generator. Finally, you've got a footer at the bottom. Then we've had some nice to haves, animated quotes like functionality, count, random image generator, and the ability for the user to generate a specific number of quotes. Okay, so we achieved all our main objectives. We didn't do animated quotes, like functionality or count, and we didn't do a user generates number of quotes, but we did do an ability to show all the quotes, and we categorized them, and then we finally did an API. So I would actually say that we over-delivered. Let's break each section down so you can take a detailed look at what we did. Cheers. So, on to quote generator. Okay, so this is the main event. And this piece of functionality took some time. Napoleon, Essel, you'll like that one. Lao Tzu, Richard Feynman. What a man. Right, so here we go on to the actual code. This state contains quote and author. Mount the component here, and get quote function makes an API call to this endpoint here. Then we take the response and we set state into quote and author, and then it gets rendered inside of the render function of this h1 tag as quote and author. Here's the button. I'm leaning against radiator here, it's squeaking, apologies for that. And then you've got a Twitter share button here. Twitter share functionality is included here. And now over to Monsieur Millwood, aka Sam, for the styling.
Hello everyone, my name's Sam Millwood. As part of my final project at Manchester Codes, I wrote a lot of the front end and CSS for Philosofind. I used a 7.1 CSS Architecture for SAS. This is where you have all of your partial files stuffed into 7 different folders. In this case I only use 6. You then have a single file at the root level, usually named main.scss. This file then compiles all of your files into a single CSS style sheet. This allows you to completely separate your CSS into component-specific folders. If you're writing a lot of React and interested in a dynamic background, implementing one into your own project couldn't be simpler. Go to your terminal and run npm install --save react background slider. Go into your component, copy in this code, import your images, set your duration and your transition, and you're done. Possibly the easiest and cleanest dynamic backgrounds for React. This isn't my final vision for Philosofind. I'd like to have a completely transparent navbar to take most advantage of the backgrounds and center the attention of the current random quote being displayed. I'd also like to refine the mobile version of Philosofind into something more separated from the desktop version. Whilst I think the current implementation of Philosofind Mobile is good, I still think there's a lot more potential here. originally set out to use styled components for this project, so I was keen to take advantage of its unique system for styling React components, as well as its unique class name system. However, at the time, Sass was the cleanest and most efficient way for me to style Philosofind components. Maybe next time. That concludes my TED Talk. I hope to see you all real soon.
On to categories. Okay, so it was decided fairly early on that we were going to categorize quotes. These are the categories: ancient, enlightenment, modern, artists, entrepreneurs, scientists. The first three are self-explanatory. Artists is an all-encompassing category, including writers, musicians, painters, etc. Entrepreneurs is a great opportunity to talk about tech entrepreneurs, and you'll notice quite a few of the entrepreneurs that were talked about at the beginning of the course have been quoted in that category. And then finally, the scientists. So the user can select which category by choosing the option up here. So this is ancient, Hypatia. What a woman. Anyone who doesn't take truth seriously in small matters cannot be trusted in large ones either. There we are. If you move further down, you can then see there's explanation about what ancient actually means, a philosophical overview. And for those of you who remember the drop-down menu off the project plan, here it is. So you can choose Seneca. No one confines his unhappiness to the present. Isn't it true? So yeah, you reset that. If you want to see all the quotes, click the Show All Quotes button, courtesy of Sam. And here we are. You can see them all. You see how busy I have been inputting quotes onto the API. There's a picture of Buddha, isn't that nice? That's the end of quotes. If you want to see the code, this is the ancient quote generator. It looks pretty much like the Philosofind quote generator you may remember, except it has a different endpoint. One thing that might be worth mentioning is that the randomization of the quotes actually happens on the back end, as you can probably appreciate here. That's the end of categories. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the API. Okay, so last but not least is the API. Why use an API for a quote generator when you can just keep all the quotes on the front end? Well, it demonstrates a full stack application, and I'm kind of hoping that one or two of you might want to use the API for your own projects. So to get the endpoints, select categories, go to API, hit Rhoda 6 Alter, and then you will see you can fetch all quotes with this endpoint here. You can get a random quote from all categories or Philosofind. You can fetch all quotes in a category with this endpoint here. Just replace this bit here with either enlightenment, modern, artists, etc. Or you can fetch a random quote from a category. Again, just append the category you want with the word random. So all the quotes were uploaded with Postman, And as you can see, I have painstakingly uploaded every single one of these quotes. The quotes are held within the MongoDB database. You can see here. So the roots and the controllers were created using Express. Here are the roots. And the controllers. So this last bit here was gets all quotes from an author. This is what I used for the drop-down menu. And we used the quote.find method within Express to find the author that was entered as a query on the root. If it can't find it, it throws a 404 and tells you the quote can't be found. Otherwise, it responds with a 200 and the response, yay, in JSON format. A few of you are probably wondering about the Wikipedia search bar. Here it is. And the results produced below. It takes you to the page link. And the same again for books. Which basically means you can research the authors. The code is here. Here's the endpoint. I'd recommend Wikipedia's API. A really good documentation. And then the books API. Yeah. So the Wikipedia and Google Books API's project plan now looks like this. Okay, so we're always looking to continually improve. We want to develop Philosofind further. That is why we want to add AO authentication to the API. We want to introduce quote cards. We want to display those quotes better, particularly on the show all quotes functionality. And then what we want to do is add the like functionality, the Facebook share functionality, the LinkedIn share functionality onto the quote cards. And all of that ties in with our aim and ambition to improve the mobile UI and style the components. Yeah, that's where we're going. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much for watching the presentation. Please feel free to explore Philosofind at philosofind.co.uk. The end.